뭐야? 당가 좀 딩해라. 오늘 대체체 동거 가서 예와들라 저. 오늘은 저와 나와 잡았네. 네, 전지선대 네 놓쳐와래.
So we were talking about the 10 the Dharma or the 10 qualities which symbolizes the Mahayana precepts, and and of those, so we finish the I think the last time in the last week's session. So we talking about that the precepts which instructs on effort in non-clinging, and the precept which instructs on tireless effort, precepts which instructs on effort that thoroughly upholds the path.
다 가발에 있으나니 아니 담바 땡고는데 담바 아니 시엔도 아니 제왕이 시에생이지. 어따다네 만들고 요레스.
담바도 개발.
담바. 담바 시엔제로 제와 니 시에치.
Yeah.
아니 그와 돈하지. 저와 걸음지.
So 되게 장가다 그러게.
dumba
나
dumba
진디 말아 개바 말아.
말해.
dumba.
So
so we finished the first 6 precepts, types of precepts, which the sixth one is, and so now the 7th one, which is the precept which instructs on him. So the 7th one, which precept which instructs on the 5 eyes.
다대 잔드네 디 가르치고 열세나 디 가서는 시행아도 니시 주시네 아니 드니시 그래서 자와제나 아니 시행아도는 니시동 이때 주동세네 아니 자와티 된 거요레스.
So if we under this, so we this the 7th and 8th, which is the precepts which instructs on 5 eyes. So that's we find about the 5 types of sublime eyes, and then the 8th, which precepts which instructs on the 6 clairvoyances. And so this 7th and 8th precepts, which if relates to the root text verse, which says in the verse 1.22, the 5 eyes, the 6 qualities of clairvoyances.
단단해 제변이 시행동에 시행에 아니 시다 아니 다 시스 셴비거니 개판하지니 루조조셔졌더니 말했어와 네 때마저는데 그럼 도그러네 마트니 순샤요레스 아니 때마저는데 그럼 도네 순이 제선은 제스쇼마기비 네 때칭이 도제네 안트니 지순 아니 좀 바지는 전에 윤주리 마도 네 때베기 제스 시스 개판하지 사조셔졌더니 저 말했어.
So these 5 types of this divine, or the sublime eyes and the 6 clairvoyant powers. So all these types of the stages of developments, inner development is not something which was invented by later masters, but rather, we find its source. Its source even in the Buddha's own, teachings.
대인자네 다 셔니 손주이 산다 니 니지가 뇽래 맹해지나 니 녜셰도 전을라 수바 가세 그 되나요 니 녜손로 그 지시마도 아니 다 타와도 도지 준비고 니 저런도 되게 말했어.
However, if without the bodhicitta, like the cultivation of bodhicitta mind, and then there is a risk that even these kind of the very high level kind of the perceptions, or such as the 5 sublime eyes and so on, these clairvoyant powers. So there's a risk that this can, instead of serving as a cause to achieve liberation and complete enlightenment, so they can result in even the take rebirth, to be born in a cyclic existence. But for those who are aspiring to achieve the complete enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, then gaining these powers, these like the clairvoyant powers and these sublime eyes, so all these had become a very important factors to be very, to become very like self-sufficient in one's practice, in one's spiritual developments, and also serve as a cause to even to the quickly achieving the complete enlightenment, and also this can be by having these such the qualities, the extraordinary qualities, can be a cause for the inspiration, cause of inspiration for other beings to follow us.
Pena ne shenga do which chacha waina shenga jel desuna ne she tumbuti leka kariorsena she tumbuti go runki rundo ledo kawaii piga ne dajada ane geweshinyala soba ne tosa sanchela ne gunaye haku yores saja kawane yena
kasarama
rundo ledo kawaii ngeta lo so gege so ledo kawaii loma ane tazo ane tosa sanchela kawaii haku yores she tumbuti
so so each of, like for example, these like 5 sublime eyes offers a tremendous benefits, serve a great purpose for on the path, for example, the first eye, which is the sublime, like the eyes of flesh, out of eyes of flesh. So it is said that by having this, by gaining this, the actualizing these sublime eyes of flesh, then the one has an ability, has a power to see to perceive the right, for example, the right teachers or the right students, even as far as in the exist in like the far the worldly systems, such as like thousand worldly systems, such far away, so that you have this these advantage, these benefits of having these eyes, the eye of flesh.
Then Nipatiga Suzuleto Kawaii, the Jetazone, Tao Suzuki Chitembaina, and they can Tandane, Shinashino to Salakawashi Roti, and then Matewaina, Shinashino, Strondo to Salata, Kawashi, and Sokanga Shikuyores.
lai chen sui. La, lai nipa lai chen ro.
Li xie.
La.
Li xie re.
La. And so there is, through these eyes of flesh, then you can see in a distant, the universe, that wherever there's a teacher or the students who with whom you have the special like a karmic connections or a certain spiritual bond, and so likewise, the second the eyes, which is divine eyes. So khasa the pen khasa.
Sume niparo nipe deja ta so chi temba ina. Deja kun. Chi temba ina ro. Ani deja tela pen chi temba ina deja tene shimpyo zi ani kon de shen ro ya wa. So chi temba mata wa ina. Ani da di jol da kam shi ya wa ni ha ko res ro.
And with the second divine eyes, so you have the advantage, have the benefits of actually knowing exactly, what dharma you teach, whatever dharma you teach to the certain students, and then how, as a result of that, where these students you will see the future of that student or the disciples. And then likewise, how if you don't teach that student, then what will be the future stake for that the students or the disciples? So you have these such abilities to know the future of the students, through these divine eyes.
Somebody gani dejan devi ta dome panyas to gres.
And then third, which is the wisdom eyes. So that refers to the wisdoms, realizing the selflessness. So that is really very the essentials, indispensable for one, for one to be able to lead other sentient beings to the state of liberations.
Ane jewega, ane dejega, tasu zo ledo kawain dejega, umbo ranjin tasayime, kaime de hako yores roa. Tani hako sona ane ter kolo umbo tempe ane chiten kako roa.
Shiva churwa.
Shiva.
And then the fourth, which is the dharma eyes, so which gives one an ability to recognize the mental predispositions and the mental faculties of the disciples, whether they are their faculties are are very sharp, or they are sharp-minded, or they are dull-minded, and so in this way, so the inability to teach dharmas, to suit them.
Ani ngawa ani suji jishenti jenta ba zo to na yo shija pachewa chita wa chita tu de gore sro shija pachewa de to suna ani garisena so tawa da toji chimbigo komu tentnya wala yenji ko wala matipa rume papa nju de ngi ani tdiga ni ta gi pachewa chi yores
garza engyasun garza shin
ngawa suji chen ro suji jenta ba zo to ngine ma to na jenta ba zo to na yo dni shija pachewa shinro chita wa ba shinro de shi so na shiji nelu pachewa chita je shinro itere ani ta su yenji ko wala matipa so rong ngune pichi karsan pi tawa do toji chema tendni dengitri ba toji chema pinju dengitri ani dni chode go so rong ko.
So the fifth the sublime eyes called as Buddha eyes, so which it is said that even not the actual the cultivating the actual Buddha eye, but even you have something similitude of that, the Buddha eyes, then which means that then you have able to perceive almost all of the object of knowledge, and so therefore because of this, so you become very very confident and very self-sufficient in your in progressing on the path, and also in engaging in all the practices, without depending, not depending on the help, getting help from any other beings.
아니 제장하다 드니기 예대지에 있었다 드니기 예대에 있었다 가르쳐는 거지 시동 자송고 당가서 템발라니 다 템베지선로 템발라는 자세 자동 받대와 얘기했더니 제스로와 대인자니 템바 코로는 드니지 너도 템바 템베티네 니 템베 실에 가르치는데
템바 코라 가서
템베 다 끝은 전전으로라 다 시행가 된 거로와 템발 시행가 된 거로와 디그티네네 실에 가르는 데서와 템베 끝은 전전으로라 네 pena dan del chacha waina dig shele tin non de ores di shejre de oro tanda
so since we have a faith in the Lord Buddhas, in that he is fully awakened beings, and which means he has all these qualities, extraordinaries, very high level qualities that we've been talking about. So he possessing all these qualities. So possessing. So therefore it's also good for us to reflect on the how on the looking into the Buddha's life stories. How is there any aspect part of the life which reveal these kind of qualities. So, for example, that one that we commonly know is in this month. So there is a month of the Buddhas. The manifestation of the various miracles in a month of miracles. So this also provides some insights for us as a devotee of the Buddhas about these Buddha's extraordinary qualities.
가서시다 선배타리 시내 다 손이 쪼지에 받더라. 아니 다 템베가 녜셰도 시야도 녜셰가 라테네다 시동 템베가 코템바 코노 끝이노라. 아니 인제체 제스네 요레스로와 인제다 노 시야도 녜셰라 소팔라 테네 인제와테 네다 인제와 단디근 제와테 쳐되고 그래서 좋은데 드시세요. 좋겠나.
So usually, we understand, we recognize that in the Buddha's the entire life stories, so there are four main deeds of the Buddhas, and then his deeds of these miracles. So which we we remember in this the first month of this lunar calendars. Usually specifically from the fourth of this first month lunar month calendar to the 18th, and so here and we can recognize specifically these Buddha's qualities of this what we are talking about here, like this, such as this the divine eyes and the clairvoyant powers and so on.
ngato tembe ge jenju ni ji ni ne yi na wi na ani tembe ge gze tan zhe zhe cha song wa do gze cha song da ngato ha ko de ma ri de din zhe zhe che shu de je de ha ko na ya bo ya re sro wa jin se ka re sna de ni ji ha ko so na pe na so so le tem ba yi na di ka so ni di ka so ni ri che so so je se yu ko ya ta ni ta ani ya mi ge ta ji pa chu wa ti ge chro tembe je nu ren dio wa ani tembe ge gzi ge nu zhe zhe ka re yo se re to so la de xie ji ne ya bo ya ro wa
and also as a Buddhist and as someone we considering as a follower of the Lord Buddha and expressing some sort of devotion and faith in the Buddhas, so it's important that we have some the understandings of the Buddha's life, life stories, Buddha's careers of his life, and so there are why this what is the benefit of this understanding this for us devotees to understand the Buddha's life story is so that when we can we can reflect on all these great qualities and the great incredible deeds that Buddha performs. So even though if we cannot really, it is not it is not the conceivable for us to understand the complete the deeds of the Lord Buddhas, but at least if we should try to recognize some of the major or the main deeds of the Buddhas, and then as we can gain benefit by just the rejoicings, by cultivating the sense of rejoicing in those deeds, and how then through that then how it can serve as a cause for us to increase our give some boosts our motivations and gives and inspirations in within us for following the practice. So, and as well as it is important that when we consider ourselves a Buddhist, then it is important that we understand that, and so that we can also explain to tell the Buddha story to others, who asked that, who was the Buddha and what sort of the message he left in his life to the world. And so it's important as a Buddhist devotee, so to have these understandings of the Buddha's life. So when someone who who know that you have been following the Buddhist path, and then of course it will be embarrassing if you can't if they ask you about who is the Buddha, and if you can't give some sort of explanation of the Buddha, it's really embarrassing as a Buddhist.
아니 가주시다 선배 다리시네 다선이 쪼지에 받을 샤부 종아 요래서와 디젤은 존득다 존득 다 대신 먹는서고 요래서
so in this month, so there's the 15 days, so which is the in which the Buddha we regard as the manifestations of the miracles.
맞아 배내나네 배다 동복코로니 미코로 촌트티 시에는 저래서 미코로 달라 촌트 다와세네 아니 다오코로 미데다가로 도그래서.
So in Tibet, so we actually call this first lunar month as the month of miracles.
Yeah. This one's anita that then be 촌트때 그제 가르래 진짜 가르래. 세와이나트니 디가슬로네 때망이 뭐주파 송지 아니 데자몽보 la chi sun ti sala ane deja mumbo tembe jesun rong ta ika mumbo go jabo mumbo ane temba go jesun rong tindi go sunza ane ta tembe go ngane ta shon ja ane mate bi go temba la su mate bi temba tu zo tu re ane ta ta zo go ane ta ko zo magane ane ta jabo la su po pon tu ne ane temba la zatan ja ka sene ane ozu ja de go res.
So if we looking into the story of the Lord Buddha, then the Buddha, after the becoming enlightened, so his name started to spread. He started to become very famous, and this as a result of that, so there's a large a number of population then started to follow the Lord Buddha, and as well as not only the ordinary people, even some many great kings, in his contemporary king, even they started to follow the Buddhas, and so it is at that time. Then there are, of course, these will be very upsetting to some other teachers, and particularly there are very known 6 non-Buddhist teachers in that time, and so in order to so they propose this Buddhist teacher. Then they publicly propose to the king that they want to challenge the Lord Buddha's laws.
Tani tatani peda tsepa chine chonga pata teme nimaril zindri tene ane tamu tepi temba tuila sopo pomba che ane deja mumbo jesu zun tani yu chebi yu tise chade ho res nande
so this
temba tamu tepa tuila jane rowa zindrile tensola jane ane tani yu tise chikide ho res
jane khasa
ta tone
lao
zindrin jegro wa
lao
tembe tsepa chine chonga pata tene zindrila sopo tone tobi ta dishi chewa jeshi re de res.
So the competitions with the challenge, to challenge from these non-Buddhist masters. So it continued from the first of this lunar calendar, then up to the 15th of this lunar first month of lunar calendars. So according to this the stories, then each day then Buddha manifested certain very miracles, and through that miracles then really conquered or defeated the outsiders, and so therefore from this perspective, so this month is also the remember as the victories of the Lord Buddhas over opponent forces.
Tate nondashi chana she de na yungu mdo nga tsu sen dungo mare ina ta tise de tsa chimo she go jire karsena jiru mo che go ni tise de tsa chimo yin ba sine ni korong kse go no la tan za ta che shu je go ne ji ni di tise de le mine ni melo chimo de sa tsu pares.
And just to emphasize the significance of this Buddha's the manifestation, the miracles, and then we will also find in the life story of the Geshe that and in which in his life story, so there are there are 4 major deeds, and one of those the major deed of Tsongkhapas, great Tsongkhapas, is the this beginning of commencement of this the prayer, great prayer festivals. So which really remembers this the Buddha's the manifestation of miracles.
네 드니가 명무침을 주셔서다 바지 gem바다다 길비 gem바죠. 다 명무때 무중에 바지 요 말이스러와 로사가스 초 아니 종행이 보텔라 아니 치와비 자시 도제다 아니 자세 나달라 수프 마트니 존에 아니 치와 드니 지하타네 아니 베비 잭스 주보나 보시다 아니 드니 요레스러와 치와 자침보 피그레스
So in Tibet, so on this month, especially on the full moon day, and then in most of the major monasteries, so they displayed grand offerings of the like the tormas, which is really all made in butters and with a fine arts, and which shows the depicting the various like precious objects, the and the like or the royal objects, and so it is in this month, all the in the monasteries, so there's a lot of all the monks, sanghas will be very busy with attending the prayer festivals, the pujas, and as well as it is considered or remembered as a great like a cultural as well as a festivals, because large people also this of course the main purpose is to make the accumulate merit, but they really gathers around in the monasteries. So it's a big huge celebration in Tibet also.
also nonji pela sheso de ju yoresro 종에 제와 파제를 롱고테는 양세레시고레스 종에 대와 파제 처세레스 다 롱고테는 양세레시고레스 가르쳐 총카만 보러와 다 종이 제와 제트 말에 텔레 롱고테는 양세레시야지 드니가 봐 시소트니 요레스.
Yeah, just because of such the attract such a large crowd that usually on the night of this full moon, it's very hard to get close sight of this offering, the butter, the sculpture offerings. So Tibetan, we have just in a saying in our language where forget about seeing this 15th month offering, sculpture offerings. Is the best is to just take care of yourself. It's just a saying. So you to say that you have to look after yourself.
Yeah. 아니 대인사ታት 소티셰트 솔라니 샘벌 소소 냐노 타트노로 아니 텔 제스 유로나고 거나 뭐서 배포트메 보여서 가르친 제스 지름보체가 아니 다 개와치라 라체 추소세 말에 게라 제스 유로 추도 수스 배파치라 라체 추소비 게라 제스 유로 추도 수스네 당가 저치 시부지 헛다파도 좀 먹고 제스 유로 고마이나 아니 개와야 버레그센 순고여레서와
So you might have heard in the past that there's the Tsongkhapas, saying that how the practice of rejoicing is which requires a little effort, but it can accumulate the most merit. So therefore, it is good to when we think of all this, the life story of the Buddhas and all the large gatherings of the devotees and so on, then to accumulate merit. So it's good for us to we can just simply make how a great amount of merit simply by just rejoicing in what those people are doing. So.
Wana tanga to xianga xiega na ani tombo ni xian singe de kandeji lingin zo ko res. Ta ti go ni tendo de xie yong go res. Ni tela xian de karis na rong ge do je de ji. So de ni ji sen la de ne xu. Ru yin ya su to wi ga ta xi pa ji la. Ali ne ga chi to la dro wa. Rong ge do je de ji so de ji ni ji sen la de ne. Xu ne ta ru yin ya su to wi. Ani xi pa ji la.
No. All right. So we will now go in just these 5 types of eyes, or the sublime eyes, one by one. So the first one. So first of all, we need to define the sublime eye, or in Tibetan is a Chen. What is the definition of Chen, or the sublime eye? So this, so just this, the wording of this definition, so which I just vaguely translated. So it's the definition as we find in the Chidyon Rangwa, as you find in the text called the general meaning, which is used as the main text studied at the Sera monastery. So in which it says the sublime eye is a knower which directly perceives its object, and belonging to now this bit the wording, belonging to a distinguished class and arising from its empowering condition of the actual mental level of meditative concentrations. No. So we can break this statement of this definition into 2 parts, 2 main parts. So one part where we says it is a knower which directly perceives its object, right? and then other main part, which is, it says here, arising from its, or the arising or produce, from its empowering conditions of the actual mental level of meditative concentrations. No.
Da rongi doche chibi sote niji senla tene shingi xie yung tu zala sote chi niji sengi tela ane tezi kuwa ra roji macho na nga zo yungo ma res.
So the first bit which it says is a knower, which in another word is also like a consciousness or a mind, so which directly perceive its object. So that is fairly clear to us. Now, what is not clear, what can be a little bit complicated, is the second bit, which it says, arising from its empowering conditions of the actual mental level of meditative concentration. So here is talking about the level of concentration and meditative concentration as a condition, as a empowering conditions for this mind, for this knower, which is a sublime eye, to arise. So this bit, so we need to have some sort of background knowledge about what does mean by empowering conditions, and then especially the actual mental level of meditative concentrations.
다니 소대징이 하고 알아 녀란들이 하고 그거랬어. 아니 시도 감 생이텔라니 내외 감 준감 주메 감스는 소에 빠지 녀를 하고 그거랬어.
So to understand the definition, so we really have to crack the this word, the actual mental level of meditative concentration. But in sometimes it just says concentration, level of concentrations. The actual concentration, actual level of concentrations is the high level state of concentration, meditative concentration. So we have to understand that. So now, to understand that, to that high level state of concentration, meditative concentration, we have to understand the three, generally three realms, or three levels of existence. Like we have desire realms, and the form realms, and the formless realms.
대인자 다 내외 검생이들라 그래서는 대화 루트 다 라둘라마이미 네 녀이 또던 것은 대화 루트요레스로 아니 주텔라 네 주컴 내리치 딘스네 드니그시요레스 주메텔라 주메 코실라 수바요레스
So the desire realms, which is the constitute of six levels of existence, like of rebirth. So we have on the higher, three higher rebirth, like the godly beings, demigods, and the humans, and then three lower rebirth, the animals, predators, and hell realms. So there are six, and then the form realms, so is constitute of 17 levels of existence, and then the formless, the realm has 4 levels of existence.
다 근디그 소테 징이지 드라팔라 헬 시네고 그래서와 다 시네 디งู네 아니 대화텔 네 줄라 때바이나 대화테 세츠용하다 내무하다 아니 니몰라서 버라파다 아니 드니제데요 그래서와 드니제데자 아니 준콤파테 주치네테타 아니 대화라 때네 아니 신도 대화 침부지래 돼요. 그래서 대화지. 델레 참모시. 대화 안치스 그런 거죠. 체리모. 아니 다니 델라 때는 대화 치다 신도 침부지래 돼요. 그래서.
So and also in order to achieve that the mental level of meditative concentrations, so we must attain the calm abiding or the shamatha state of meditations, and then we have to by utilizing the shamatha meditation or the calm abidings, utilizing that, then we have to start by the recognizing that how all this level of existence, starting from the desire realms and to the form and the formless realms, and from the lower realms compared to the lower realms, the level that is above is higher, is subtler. So in a sense, understanding that how if we compare the desire realms, the fate of the desire realms to the form realms, to the being in the form realm, then the desire realms, even a lifespan is very short, and they are also subject to various diseases, and also their mind is also very gross and very so much afflicted with the defilements. So compared with the form realms. So we can see that desire realms has a great more disadvantages, great disadvantages, and so through utilizing this, the calm abiding or the shamatha meditation. So you have to cultivate the understanding or the realization of the desire realms as being very coarse, and whereas the level that above that, which is form realms, which is subtle, and so therefore what you should be seeking is that the higher level, that is the form realms.
Ta shine ti ngune tanta ne ndewal ropa ta kumala shiwa ne tni tabi kone ni ta te topala tsemba che ko resro te topala tsemba che ne tni ne sote chi dewa se ni tela tene ne kar sekreta ngacho shijun chi dewa sekreta sote tumbi li shiju dewa se shiju dewa se toji ores tni ji dewa tosna ne sote chi sawa chi toy ores sote chi chi toy ores.
So this idea is or the purpose of meditating on this, meditate, and then the realizing the how coarse, how gross is this the level of desire realms, and whereas the compared to that, the level above that, that's the form realms. So if you start with the form, the first level of form realms, so that is the first level of form realms, and how that is compared to that, the first level of form realm is really peaceful, the existence, and so through this, by cultivating this, then we can. It is said that we cultivate or we gain what we call here as we can develop to the stage, what is called as the stage, the mental level, the level of concentrations, so the first level of concentrations. Yes.
Tindi dewa te ne tawas panoshe de go mare. Ta tindi dewa te dewa la tine dewa shin de chimbo yinsa. Nga ni temba shaju kas mute pa tindi dewa te la tawa imba chne. Ani ta te to tawa to so nyombe lo shine ni ta tel nyomba jo tini pi dig dewa te nyu. Ani tini su jirimbo pa judi sala. Ta jela ta ko jirimbo tini te tramo bo jimbo chao. Ni chala sopa shiwe chichi la sopa saidira ta ine o ta ko tawa thoma ndi so so na ji sen cha go tsala ni tawa la ni luta la to tawa yo samari ta ko tenge giwi shinya la sopa la luta shi ne ni nyawa la la ndi ke shi
al tar bo che tsitsi ni khosa
na tsitsi se ta ko tawa thoma ba ji ne a ko resta o ta tawa thoma ta tinya ta tawa sing te samari ro 네 기회신이 그때 때져서 딱 빼고 고통샷 됐어. 근데 기회신이 루타시 타와 루타시네. 내냐와로 해거든요. 깨졌더니 요래스.
다다 대화디 데베 대화서 걸어.
말에 소테 돈비 대화.
나나나.
소테지 대화 때라는 대외다 대화래 대화신 첨보지 됐대요. 대라 띠네. 와. 될 띠는 첨보지 인자 아니 하시로 봤더니 그더니 거 대토 대타오 이때 타와 타서 그냥 비로 시. 그러와 타와 타서 그냥 비로 시 시선이 타와 타면 바하고 있잖아니. 타와를 로다라 수바시네니. 아니 냐왕 와거든요. 계자요레스.
So as we you develop the higher state of mind, such as the through understanding, through recognizing these the fault of the desire realms, and then the seeking the peace of the higher realms, such as the level of concentrations, the first level of concentrations. So and which, as said before, it is compared to desire, so it offers a tremendous peace and bliss as well. So therefore, it is, someone who, who cultivate this, who reach to this state of the mental state or the mental level of this concentration. For example, even the first level of concentration, so they will experience such a profound and a deep like a bliss and the peace, and like a just something really the unbelievable peace, tranquility, and the bliss, and then it is said that in the past, some meditators, so when they reach to that stage, experience that higher, they pass the desire realms and they reach to that the peace and the bliss of that, even the level of the concentrations. So they experience such a peace and bliss that they mistaken that for like the liberations, and so there's a story where some meditator, they realized that this is a meditator, so they said in that meditative equipoise for so many years and a year, and then after many years, when they wake up from the meditator, they realize that how long their hair has grown, and not only has it grown, even there are some animals, making a nest, and like a mouse making a mess, and then they realize that, oh no, I've not achieved the, I haven't reached to the nirvana, and then they begin to at that point, because they realize that they have not really reached the nirvana or the liberations, so they started to caution their masters who taught that, the meditations. And not only that, so they also, as they think on that, they experience, then they come to realize that maybe there is no such thing as, liberations, the nirvanas. And so they generating such wrong view relating association with the nirvanas or with their gurus, and then some, then after when they live their life, then they're born into the lower rebirth.
Kashe ane tani ki nyomba pal tani sote chikiviri pati she nishi sote nishi to tela tani nishe to nishe to ta nishe soso shewa hama ta yunde tsala shewa hama ta soso gupa sha gupa yawa sha gupa tsel chadi sha gupa ki shewa lampa hako ta jure mo tele la ma to wache shewa hama ta karo sha gupa yimba te hako ta ki sono la kare yorsena 다치 샤가파 시에서나 디지 시와티 심마테 파시 멀시엔로 야사레스 다 센델 샤가파 조토조 되와이나 아니 심말 멀시엔로 야사레스네 다 드니기 치셔되게 그리고 제노 아니 노세토 반도네 샤가페조 되게더니 요레세 드니시
우바데 시셔되어
샤가페조 토조 다 오소 뭐 도저 깨져요 근데 전에 and then but there's some other meditators, they reach, after they gain that the level of concentration, first level of concentrations, and then they, by utilizing that level of concentrations, then they make a further progress or develop a further realization, such as we're talking about here, like the clairvoyant powers, such as the clairvoyant power to see your, the past life, and then there's a story where there's some meditator who gained that power to see the preceding life. So however, he was only able to see only the immediate preceding life, past life. So in that life, he was an owl, like a bird owl, right?
And then from that, I was owl in my past life, but now I'm a human being. And so he concluded that to come back as a human or to find better rebirth, I should first take the rebirth of owl. And then there's a story, they're in the forest, they go around, and then they started to behave imitate the owl, like making the sound of the owl and doing a lot of the conduct which kind of echoes with the manner of the owls. And so these kind of the stories we can find here.
Tan dona ani sote jingi singi de karesena ta yelo gi gone rongi gusa tan dewal usan dewa chod de gorwa dewal an de chod ta ta dewe gi nyemu toje to tag gorta nyemu sawe du chepale tag yo marite inayo nekari mate nyenje to bangone ya terwa an dewal an de chod ta ni sote chi sidi ta giwiri pase karwa ta diga ta sote korong sidi chi giwiri pasi
Gewaswe.
Gewa.
No.
Giwiri pasi la ni tan dewen de chod ta visirda.
No.
De rongi gusan dewan de chod ta ni sote chi giwiri pasi la ni ta sote to mi ni je sene la go res.
So what we can understand, from the bit of discussions on this different levels of meditations. So the level of concentrations, meditative concentration that we are talking about, for example, the level of the first level of concentrations. So is a state, you reach, by the really renouncing the desire realms, because you see how the shortcomings of the desire realms, and so they have, even although they, you have not really got rid of the root cause of the desire realms, but you have got rid of you have no desire, no attachment or towards the desire realms. There's no the obvious or the manifested form of the attachment towards the desire realm. So although, as I said before, you have not yet overcome the root of that desire, but you have no desire for the desire realms, but you reach with the cultivation of this state of the first level of the concentrations. So you have cultivated the first state level of concentration, which is a virtue, and so so that can be, which we're talking about here, which can be like a actual, in the definition, of this in the sublime eye, we find a word, the actual level of meditative concentration. So that this is the one we're talking about, which we can use as a cause to cultivate the sublime eye.
제장하다 시행생의 드니리스다 드니가 소테잉이 시발을 때는 도전할 때는 슌 누로에 냐서도 또 비그는 시바시 아니 시행생의 드니지 로로진인서 그래서
So now if we read out this definition of sublime eye, so a knower which directly perceive its objects. So here it specify that as a sublime eye, as a consciousness, so it directly perceives, directly perceives or cognizes its objects, and then the what caused that this knower to arise. So then it says arising from its empowering conditions of the actual mental level of meditative concentrations.
Tate ya poji nginzo suna ne une kole yewa ngat le gores ro anta zo te le lan gores Tengi Mazana, one Yawatazon, this college is raw. She ain't singing the country Hamakona, and she tell a Yichi said in Hakumara.
So we have to know this, the description of the sublime eye, because without knowing that, then when we come later about these 5 types of sublime eyes, then of course then we won't understand those 5. So do you understand the meaning of the sublime eye? If not fully, at least just a bit of. At least if you have a little bit of understanding, that will do. And because you will, as we keep going on, then you will understand more, and things become clearer afterwards. So because there's in this the definition of sublime eye, so there is a word, this mental level of concentration, or mental concentration. So I have to give you a little bit of explanation, but otherwise later on in this as part of this study of the Abhisamayalamkara, so there's a whole section which goes really detail into this just on this the level of meditative concentrations.
That nipatelane shensingetela ta nungsel kase yorsena nungsel rimanda ngayores.
No. Okay, so now
ani karsa shi shen li shen ani shara shen chi shen ani suji shen.
No. So the sublime eyes, so is these, or there are 5 types of sublime eyes. So which are like the eye of flesh, and then the divine eye, the wisdom eye, dharma eye, and Buddha eye.
Ta tombotela ta Tseni she sala rongi tomo mai bi dochi ta tombo tela ta shen koyen bares ha shen ba konshi res ta shen ba konshi la ta tin kala karche grsana rongi tomo mai bi dochi chi shai mi la tene ne poche jat sto ne zutra ronge sa to gi patila ne ta shi shen se ana atni se this.
So now we look into the first type of this eye, sublime eye, called sublime flesh eye, like a flesh eye. So which again first I will read out the definition, statement of the definition of this eye, sublime eye. So it says, technically it says, it is a sublime flesh eye is a sublime eye, okay? It has to be sublime eye, obviously. And a knower which directly perceives the gross and subtle form of 100, I have to use this word, pakse, which is a kind of like a measurement, measure area, by depending on its own uncommon empowering conditions of the flesh eye.
Tadi tseni salha ko ke karer sena ma ko karer sena ta so shi mi sene shi mi la tene shi se gorwa shi mi la tene shi ge ne shi mi de kande ya wa ngin zo gres poche jai zu tharo nge so to sere poche singi de kane jik chere ndi ma zo te ha ko tren wis.
So before so first we'll just go through some of the technical words which we find in these definitions. For example, it says this flesh eye has the capability of directly perceiving gross and the subtle forms that exist in like a 100, you know, the areas of the 100 or the universe of the 100, you know, it says Pakse or in is that Yojana or something. I had to look at dictionary in Sanskrit. That is a measurement of I don't know, measurement of distance or area. Okay, so first we need to know what is that. In Tibetan is a Pakse. Yeah, it's a measurement. Yeah, of a distance.
Pakse singi te kase sego arsena. Pakse singi te jundo je singi.
La.
Jundo je.
Jangda je. No.
Jundo rere la ndomba ngajari ores.
Damas no la.
Ndom se ya. Ndom ngaja.
La.
Ndom ngaja la jundo chi.
No.
Tendi je la pakse chi. Jundo je la pakse chi.
No. Jangda je la pakse chi.
Kanze ndomba tundro shi la pakse chi se ores. Ndomba kane na ina.
Tija maradi kalsa di
pakse singi
jangda khazu jangda je la.
Jundo je la.
Pakse chi.
Pakse chi.
No.
Ta jundo rere kase se ores na. Ngacho ndom matamaji ta. Ndom tel ngajala.
No. So this sajada was right. So this is a Pakse, which in Tibetan is also in Sanskrit Yojana. So this perhaps is the measurement of distance, you know, which they use in the early, maybe in ancient India. Okay, so one Yojana or one Pakse in Tibetan, so which is the equivalent of now another word, okay, Ed Gyangda, which is in Tibetan. Okay, so now at least we could know Gyangda is another measurement, okay, which is used in this early day. So one Gyangda is equal to full 500 of full arm length of a mature person. You got it? 500 full arm length of a mature person is a one Gyangda. Okay, so one Pakse is 8 of those. So you can think of now how much miles.
Kanze poche chilam ndomba tundo shiores.
La.
Poche chilam ndomba tundo shiores.
Kanze. Pakse chila hasa?
Ndomba tundo shi.
Gyangda maro.
Ndomba tundo shi. Ngaja chewo. Je jana tundo shi cha.
Re. So in another word, the one Pakse equal 4,000 full arm length. Yeah. 4,000. 4,000 full arm length of a mature person. Yeah.
Tel mita kase tingi chirol chi.
Chidan do di hanzo di sik di yomar gi. Di khagwa.
Semunda. Tel mita kase yor se tingi ti chirol tin
di do da do di tempo ji bindu khajri.
Ya kawas.
Ya.
Tingi tonga chi ta. Ina tati che mande tatri te jo jama to te ngaso ti nyora sawna jin di sirwa.
Yeah.
Ani jela ngaso chi chirwa.
Yeah, I had referred to some dictionary which says 2 miles, but there's something else. So, 4,000 full arm length. That's the one Pakse, one Yojana. Yeah. So we're talking about here subtle form of 100 Pakse Gyala, don't they? No. Yeah, 100 Pakse.
Yeah.
So ability to perceive all the gross and the subtle types of form, physical form, of all these things that exist in that area. Could be a square kilometer of that the 100 Pakse. Yeah.
Yeah, that te jojan mo te samare tamu mo jino tiskane
ra. The tiwa imaros. So we maybe don't want to confuse ourselves. I think we might leave it here. Yeah, because it's more things, that which the unfamiliar, topics comes, and so we don't want to get too confused. Anyone has a question?
I was just wondering what the subtle form is.
The Sutta Rak says, there are Sutta says, Sut Rakpa is a Tawad Kala was a Tawad.
Zu Chamo Senata Zul
Taro
Mumboero.
No.
Zutaro Mumboerita, Dikas Chamote, Zu Chamota, Muja Natsucianata, Zuina Chachi in Bichosero, Tango Techilla.
No.
Chameyoma Risero. There's a Chachi Zu Chamota, Nazu Mi to Mataya. It
has to be macroscopic, the subtle form. Like in the Buddhist theory, there's no partless particle, partless form. There's no such thing. So even the subtle form has a part. So here, when we talk about this particle, the subtle form, so it's talking about something which is only through microscope. Maybe super microscope. You have to see that. Not our normal eyes can see that. Yeah. Partless. No. Yeah. No partless particle. Yeah.
Natsuti Numbeg Nola, Chamet no Kenling or S. In a tongue to can teach Zuchasu Chachiris or S. Chachis, the new Chachian Zechi, Tatu Patella, Chachero.
But of course, there are some Buddhist school which they propose, they assert the partless particle, but according to what the Madhyamika school that we're following here, studying this text, so the school doesn't accept the partless particle.
The Shigia Tanda Dinola Shien session, ice and Chisedo. Yinayo Teja Siltani Ladigo Matu. Yeah.
So here, for when we're talking about this 5 sublime I, so in fact we use the word I, but so we normally think of I as like an organ, but really all this, even though we use the term I here, but these are all referring to the mental consciousness. Yeah. Because he's talking about this, all these are we have to achieve, through meditations.
Yeah.
When you talk about the sensual consciousness, to make it clear, look, see things better. There's not much meditation can offer. It's not something we develop through meditations. So this will explain that even though we use the term I, but it is not talking about these sense organs. Yeah. So otherwise, we normally say the sentient, the eye, normal eye, visual eye of the sentient being has no capacity to perceive a subtle form. Yeah.
Dinu tanseni isla zui taro sengite ta rapala tene tamola tene rapase tendo jawu mato ya tene yeshiba tamo te nonsele yedu chugurwa
no
nonsele yedu chugure te yinayo tene rongshi ge maris mara azu shirobe je tene yoro ta loma tongi ane ngu senje runga wa to ye jengnyasa zu tamo te jengnyasa to to mara tena popa gre serwa zu tamo te nyasa to na mutoba nyasa to grwa te yo mare se tni che gor te ina cha tni ga ta zu charo sengi te tamo la tni rapa la tni tamo tni jo gores.
Yeah. Yes, just to clarify again, perhaps the subtle form that we're talking about here maybe not necessarily be referring to the most subtle form, because otherwise really to be here we're talking about this flesh eye which can directly perceive the subtle form, right? So to directly perceive or cognize any subtle forms, so you have to be almost like you have to be a superior being, you have to be an Arya being, and so this flesh eye loss. Some even the non-Buddhists can also accomplish this. So therefore, we are talking about a very, very subtle, so it's all relative. But not talking about any subtle which is not visible, to our visual eyesight. So also got to understand that when you're talking about this definition, or someone who has the eye of flesh, and which means it has it's saying here that has the ability to perceive these subtle forms within the range of, like it's saying 100 bakse, right? But it doesn't necessarily saying that see all this subtle form, but it has the capabilities, capacities, but not necessarily that if you say, oh, you've seen the entire particle, entire subtle form, it's not necessarily saying that. No.
When we see, so if somebody has the flesh eye and see, it's not through the eye, it's through the consciousness, does it still appear as a visual image?
단다 디 샤이 미기 딱 타는 분에 수 통해 줘라. 그 무슨 통 등에디 간조게 미기 통하나 신 통고요. 그래서
통고요. 냐스 통세.
Yes, is directly as it will see as clear as we see with our eyes.
전장의 시행 천이 요들 천이 스치라 루이냐스 통세도.
라로.
대비 같은 민
So as we see in the definition, it says directly perceives. So that means same as the way we see with the eyesight.
So then it's like, according to their view, they can hold on or tune into some place over there and see the subtle form.
With the mind, mental.
So it's not because you said they don't see everything.
Yeah.
But has the ability.
Has the ability.
So they can tune in and
Yeah. That's good. The 상마 통고마다 이내지 통해 전화다 통해 뉴바디 열어서 걸어 가리나. 박세 야는.
다때 니바치시 뭐 보여서.
라오.
루루 니바치시 담으라 열어서.
라오.
보세 자무제 도스스제 통해다.
라오. 답은 야는 통해 줘라.
다때 무슨 니바.
셰제 사베자라 박세 야는 로그다 쑥 참스 간데지나 통해 뉴바 열어서.
니바 열었다. 이나야. 딱히 야 니바 열었다. 딱 그러 가르세 그렇다. 주 참못해도 수수시올라니 주 참못해도 도인도 니빠지래지 말아.
No. Yeah. Yes, has the ability to directly perceive the things, but I think as we said before, as a common being, as a common or the in opposed to Arya, common beings. So you have no ability to directly perceive the subtle form. Won't have the ability to directly perceive the subtle form.
변형에
The most subtle form. Sorry, the most subtle. Yeah.
니 고기 또 주차선 통도 있으나 다는 시에 죽으러 와.
No.
다나 시에 죽으러 와. 이나 디파라고 주이나 니 통이 차와요 말아 봐.
No.
변형 고여로 뭐 고도. 고츠다가 주차선인 통거서 다나 마치 따와이나 니 고츠차선 주차선인 통거서 시에 죽으러 와.
No.
봐. 이나요 주이나 고츠다가 주이나 니 토탁 말아. 또 차와요 말아. 다 디파로 주차모 가세요. 봐. 이나 시에도 살았다. 고츠다가 주차선인 통거도 있어그러 왔다. 봐. 통탁은 미시가 토탁은 있어그러.
디파로 사스 사마송.
이나요 다 이나 주이나 차와서 그래요 말았다.
Yeah.
유참모 뭐요.
Yeah, it's not necessary that the someone with this sublime eye, flesh eye, see all the form, even the subtle form directly. So like we can say, like Shila said, when he look at that door, he can say that he can see the door, the whole door and everything here. But it doesn't mean that he see every particle, everything from here to there, to the door.
Pena, Niki go Tachason Tonga Sero, Tachason Tonga Sero. In a tag no motoji casera.
You see, Geshe can see all your hair. But at the same time, if you ask, do you see one single, see that, then, no, of course not.
Yeah, that is it.
No, Sasha.
And as you could not the Mountain Rochu Reserva, to Chesogi.
So we'll stop here and then continue in our the discussion about next teachings next week.
Okay. Yeah.
Dedications, page 11. Gewandi Nududang Lama Sangye Drugyone Drowa Chikyam Maluba Sala Gopasho Janchu Sencho Rinpoche Ma Kepanam Keguchi Kepanyam Pame Payan Gonen Gondu Pelwasho. Page 20. Gangri rowe kowe shinkam di pandan denwa madu shumwene chere zingwan tenzing yatsoi jape site badu tengushi. Page 21. Dudensi Jim Jam Gon Gyal Weten Zing Kyong Pelwa Gonzo Do Pose Chok Sum Kuwe Leg Mon Tu Drupa Dak So Duje Gon Du Shabden Shok. Page 22. Dudanchi Daglo Sangyal Weten Chota Pella Gyumedam Jachin Kadrin Kome Shenendam Pasho Kalgya Shukso Cho Tu New Druso.
Oh yeah, good night.